Chaos breaking out in NYC's Chinatown. ICE agents raiding a canal street and going after sidewalk vendors selling counterfeit purses. They bagged 9 illegal aliens with rap sheets, including robbery, domestic violence, assaulting law enforcement, counterfeiting, drug trafficking, forgery. But right on cue, the awful shock troops showed up to fight on their behalf.
Show your face! Come on, what are you scared about? What the are you scared about?
They're fat Nazis. They're abducting people from their homes and their schools and their jobs, and they know what they're doing is wrong, and they don't give a because they're heartless monsters.
Wow, she's a barrel of laughs. And now House Dems are launching a master ICE tracker, or MIT, to keep tabs on federal agents looking to round up illegals. All right, I'm going to go to you first, Jessica, because we live very close to each other. I am by this area every single day when I walk my dog. You cannot walk there. It is, and I'm going to use a phrase that I do not use often, it's a third world country. It is aggressive. It is the smell of drugs. There are fights. It's a drug-fueled haze of men yelling at each other, and these women are defending men who use this money, send this money to organized crime groups that then do it in drug and human trafficking. So they're actually defending guys that are really bad to women.
This would not have been the moment that I would have spoken out against ICE. You know, it is not only, you know, a blight on the neighborhood in terms of navigability and what it looks like and convenience and all of the things, but a lot of these guys are actually the bad hombres that Trump was talking about, but from Africa mostly. So you know, when this happens and when there's footage of it like this, it supersedes the story that I think is very valid to tell about what ICE is doing in other places. And you saw as well that the NYPD posted that they weren't involved in this at all, in this particular raid, which obviously got a lot of national attention. But the NYPD does regularly do this or breaks it up. They're not necessarily taking them in to deport them. So I'm not thrilled with this particular example. You know, there's a lot of reason to not like ICE. I would not have been in that group.
I was there, I guess it was, I don't know, it was Saturday, and I watched these guys surround 2 cops, New York PD, and just mock them and aggressively basically surround and go like, go back to your desk job. They just like basically left. They couldn't do anything.
Instead of saying, go back to your country?
Yeah, they were like, go back to your office, and just screaming at him. So this is another example of somehow you're supposed to accept this behavior, and Trump's saying, no, you don't. You don't have to live this way.
Well, the issue of tracking and exposing ICE is really a gigantic problem in the country. And what's crazy about it, it's being encouraged by elected leaders. I don't know the details of what the House Democrats are talking about creating in terms of an ICE tracker, but that seems wildly inappropriate, if not illegal. The other thing is, there's a group, I just had to pull up my phone here. It's called A21. It's a nonprofit organization that I've been in touch with in the past. And they said, in addition to the problems that you have with these illegal immigrants and the crimes that they had committed, is that most of these products, not only are they counterfeit, but they are made with slave labor, often child slave labor. So if you want to ask, like, how can I help stop child slave labor? Like, I imagine that young woman screaming probably hates the idea of child slave labor, but yet she was there to mock the ICE agents that was trying to break up the situation. I also find that it's unsafe and it's uncomfortable. It's not just Canal Street, which I've never been to, but even just like around here.
Yeah.
And I've never, when I see people getting off of the tour buses and be like, oh, I'm so excited to buy this fake bag, it really drives me crazy.
Yeah. Well, as you know, I'm against slave labor now.
Right.
Emily, I need to ask you this because I can't ask Jesse this because then he'll get us into trouble. Why do you think it's women? Like, why do women like, they call it suicidal empathy, where they give their compassion to something that would actually destroy them. I don't understand. I mean, I kind of understand it, but I'm wondering what you think.
I don't know, because I'm missing that compassion chip. So I feel like you should ask Jessica that. Because for me, I hold nothing but contempt for these individuals. The quote that I heard on the closed captioning, we know that you are a Nazi, you ethnic cleansing agenda. It is horrifying to me. This isn't compassion. This isn't care. This isn't stewardship for others. This is absolutely unacceptable to me. And I spoke with a New Jersey state trooper who founded the Troopers United Foundation. He works with these agents every day. He's on part of these joint missions. And he talked about, let's reminder, you brought up the government shutdown. A lot of these federal agents right now, they're not getting paid. So we are watching them on TV. They're out there because they believe in the mission, because they are purpose-driven. They are putting their lives on the line. They travel around the country for days at a time with their families at home watching this on TV. And many of them, because of their federal backgrounds, they're not used to and they're not quite trained for being screamed at and surrounded by protesters. They train for precision, not mob psychology. And now we have them thrust into these public volatile situations that should be a clean law enforcement operation. And all of a sudden, you have these bystanders that think of themselves as virtuous and are absolutely interfering with a federal operation. And they are creating the chaos.
Look how mad she is.
Exactly. But look at that. You are watching a federal agent that instead of using his resources and his physiology to protect the operation, he's protecting himself from a fellow civilian. This is weighing on them. The constant moral scrutiny, the everyday getting chipped at. Is this the moment that will define my career, being caught on camera, or that will lead to an injury? All of this has gotten so much bigger. And the fact that even you mentioned, respectfully, there's lots of reasons to not like ICE. These men and women have their lives on the line. That is ICE. Her with her Washington Commanders hat. Hey, happy Redskins. And she's the one that's going to go home and pat herself on the back after she gets DoorDash for $46 for her latte. They are doing nothing but interfering and making these agents even more vulnerable to injury. And I think they need to be arrested stat.
Jesse, there's a couple of variables here. One, I do believe these women are unhappy because they buy the fake Gucci bags. But number two, they don't have any they don't have any connection with the people who actually make this stuff. All this money could be traced back to terrorist groups, again, slave labor, but they don't care. They're just virtue signaling.
Yeah, I'm just mad I don't have any place to go Christmas shopping for Emma. I used to clean up. She had no idea. She has so many nice bags in her closet. I like how these conservative influencers told Trump about this, and 24 hours later, these guys were gone. He's like America's concierge. Do you say that? Is that the right way?
Yeah, I think he did okay.
You come to you and you're like, Mr. President, and he's like, well, let me do something about that. Let me see if I can help you with that. And he's always there with a solution.
He got me reservations at Mr. Chow.
I mean, honestly, he would. He would call and get you a table. Imagine Jessica when Biden was president. She could say, it would be great if we had an electric car charging station right outside of the Midtown Tunnel. And a day later, Biden would be down there breaking ground. He doesn't listen. Trump listens, and that's beautiful. And I love the conservative influencers are actually fighting crime. And Democrat influencers are actually causing crime. They ram their cars into ICE agents. And no one's saying, have you heard? No Democrat is saying, can you guys stop attacking ICE? I haven't heard a single Democrat say, stop assaulting ICE agents. Oh. That's crazy. And I was talking to Anna Paulina Luna, who I love to say the name.
Yes.
Anna Paulina Luna. And she said she overheard Democrats on the House floor saying that their whole strategy here is to attack ICE to boost Hispanic turnout in the midterm elections. So they're only doing this.
Casual conversation.
They're only doing this for votes. They're putting ICE agents' lives in danger for votes.
Always.
All right.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.